everyone, Michelle here from the Creative Cove. Thanks for joining me today. Today's video is building some accessories for my new journal that I've started. So I've kind of been inspired by Victorian times a little bit. It's not necessarily a Victorian journal. It's just kind of inspired by those elements and of course some nature that I can't resist. And I found that I've started introducing blue. So the whole reason I started this journal was I found this beautiful fabric at a garage sale, and it was just maybe a meter. And I bought it thinking I really love it, the color of it and the style of it, like a kind of ray chenille here, that it inspired a journal. So this is the making of it so far. And as you can see, I have kind of started it. There's still a long way to go. I'm working on building up some accessories now. So the other day I was in the thrift shop using up my stash. If you guys have been following me, I've been using up my stash a lot. So I'm actually running low now. So every now and then I'll go to the thrift shop and have a look. And I found these blue roll of admit one tickets. And I thought, hey, they're blue. Perfect. So I started building some different things. So these are the slide-on paper clips with a little dangle. And then I made just dangles. And these are just the beginning. I was thinking maybe adding some buttons and things to these. But just cute little bits and pieces. And then the third one is a slide-on paper clip. So I thought we'd make those today. We'll do all three, and we'll have some fun, kind of mass making these little accessories. So because I have so much of that blue fabric, I figure I will be doing more than one blue journal. So I might as well make a few of these. So what I like to do is I basically start with a kind of a rough number like this, and then I will find some scrap papers. So I have this digital here, and I'll try and link the digital there. It came with 4 pages. This is my last page I have left, and it's really pretty. I'll try and remember to link it. I don't usually use digitals, but I don't have a huge range of color papers, because if you follow my channel, you know that I generally use neutrals in my journals. So I'm kind of venturing out a little bit. I'm going to use some ink. This is Vintage Photo, and I'm just going to ink the side, kind of tone it down. I've also used ink in this journal, which is something new. I usually don't ink it, but I wanted kind of that vintage vibe. I'll just do 4 here. So I will show you how I make these, and then I just kind of sit around and mass make them. They're so much fun to make, and they're quite fast too. So I'm just going to snip this so I stay the size of the ticket. So if you have a bunch of these, or you see them and you think, what am I going to do with these? This is a great little way to use them up. And then I will tear a piece of this as well. Ooh, don't you love that sound? Move that out of the way for a second. And I will put some of this down and ink the edge of this so it's cohesive. Trying to keep everything straight here. Okay, and then I'll just run some glue up the side, stick it down, kind of creating this triple layer effect here. Remember, these are right now are going to be individual tags, so not a straight one. I'll show you what I mean by that in a second. I'm still in my pajamas. It is 7 o'clock, and I wanted to get this filmed before work. So I'm sitting here in my pajamas. Millie is still asleep. Early morning. It's so bright out. It's going to be another scorcher today. Another 30-degree day. Insane. what am I making? So we'll do 2 here. Okay. So this one, I'll pull 2 more off. Okay, let's make sure I'm doing it right. I'm just trying to make sure that I'm following what I did earlier when I was having fun making these yesterday. Okay. So that one can just be the tag. This one can be this small little one. So I just simply fold it in half. And then this one can be the paper clip. Slide on a paper clip. So I took another 2 blank ones, slid that on. So I would recommend a bigger paper clip, but I don't think I have one. Wait a second. This might be too big. So I have just a little one, but they flare out a little bit. So let's see if these fit better. They're not too big. So yeah, that's perfect. So a bigger paper clip on those I would recommend. And then I use my 3-in-1 glue. I'm just going to cover it, hold the paper clip in place. I am going to pull the paper clip out a smidge so that I can hook something through there if I want. Put another dangle in there. Flip the other side. This I forgot to cut it. Let's cut it. Because I want that paper clip to shine through, I'm going to cut it. Otherwise you could have wrapped it over and hit the paper clip as well. And then I just line them up and hold them for a second. Press that glue in. Make sure they're lined up. You still have a few seconds to maneuver the glue before it adheres. So make sure it's down. Okay, and then this guy will also glue. And then for this one, I like to decorate and keep it consistent. I don't have a little punch, so I just make the little ticket notches with my jumbo scissors. Okay, make sure that's glued. And then for the dangle, I do decorate the other side, but you don't have to, but I'm going to. Keep it consistent. Just use these scraps. Great way to use up scraps. Like that, and then this guy. So you can see you can make these pretty quick if you cover these all up in one go. Just let a little bit of that blue ticket shine through. I also have these in white. I've had the white ones for some time, and I've used them in other videos. So any color tickets will work, but in this case, I'm using it for my journal, my blue journal. Okay, so now I've got these. What I like to do next is find my tools that are scattered. I'm gonna use my gator here with the big hole. So for this guy, I'm gonna punch right here. Hopefully he's centered because I can't stick my head over. Otherwise it gets in the way of the camera. That, and then I will find my bits that it goes with that I just had right here in front of me. Take a few of those. So these I always find difficult to use. They test my patience for sure, but I think if I put it on here, and then load the other piece in here in the hole with one hand and then stick it in the top of this thing. I can't tilt it sideways or that piece will fall off. And then squeeze it. It lines up both ends. Took some tries, that's for sure. I kept missing it. It's driving me nuts. So again, I'll just put this piece on here. Hopefully you can see that. Because I can't tip it. The more I tip it, it slides off. These ones came with a bottom. I usually use the ones that are just one piece, but this was a two-piece. I got these off Amazon. Kind of random. I was low, and Michael's doesn't sell them anymore. I can't find them at Michael's. So I'm forced to buy them on Amazon now. Okay, so then you just do a little decoration on these with whatever you have. So I have some lacy bits. Something like this. What else? A little scrap blue fabric. Pieces like this. Pieces like this. And then I love these numbers off the other coupons that I have. This other roll that I got a while ago from a thrift shop. And you've seen me use these before. But there's something about this type font I really like. So we're going to use a couple of these. And we'll use a couple of the blue ones. Move that out of the way. Chop these down. Try and get rid of the red because I don't want the red. And you can just mass make these, tons of them, for future journals or swaps or whatever it is you're into. Okay, I have those, and then I'll take some blue ones. So take the blue number. The blue number is much smaller than the white. But it could come in handy, we'll see. Okay. Stop moving everything. And I'm going to ink things now. Kind of gives it a bit of an old vibe. And I will do these, a couple of these. Okay, so now I'll find some cute little bits and bobs here. These little flowers are cute. And maybe some of this. Flat. Maybe some of this. Maybe not. Can't rip it. And then maybe some of that little bit of blue fabric that I showed you earlier. A little piece in here. Something like this. And then I just make a little assembly. You could use a little focal point too, like if you have, say, a little drawing, or in this case I used like a little pressed flour, something like that. If you have that kicking around, you can use those. Whatever you've got. I'm going to keep it pretty simple. So I'm just going to glue this guy down here. Ooh, stuck to my finger. This guy maybe over here. This guy going up the side. Little textured elements. My fingers are sticky. Clean my fingers a bit. Here's a really small, thin piece of this. Maybe a square. Let's try square. Put that here. Glue everywhere today. So whatever you're working on in your journal, it's nice to be able to add that sort of thing to your accessories. So these elements can repeat inside the journal and makes everything cohesive. I really like that look. I think I'm going to do a little bit of a background, blue background on this label, and maybe a creamier background on the other label, on the blue label, just so they sit off the page a little more. Again, just using up some scraps, nothing too fancy. Try and get more glue off my fingers. So that one. Use this one. Something about crafting in your pajamas. Makes for a good start of the day. Okay, so let's put this guy on that one. I like it because it kind of raises it up off the background. Do have to kind of hold it for a minute. Sorry, my fingers are dirty. I was gardening all day. I'm trying to clean up the front yard. We had that wicked snowstorm this year, and I'm still cleaning up the carnage from it. And of course, with all the growth, it's been a big job. Okay, so I got those two, and then something here. Something that simple. I just love these numbers. They're just so easy to use. They're a little time consuming to cut out, but they're super easy to use. And there we go. So now I'll just use my little pins. I got a million of these off Amazon again. So you can put these together like this if you want, or individual. And then you have a stockpile. And you could see how quickly those came together. So you could decorate the back to that one as well if you wanted. And then I'll show you the big slide-on paper clip, which is really fun to decorate. So there you have it. Where's a piece of paper here? This guy just slides on like that. So you could sit at the bottom or the side or whatever, and you can, you know, attach another dangle. So I'm going to show you how to make this one now. Put those aside. So for that one, I use about, I can't remember now. Let's see, I did 4 long, and I needed 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it uses up a nice selection, but I mean, after all that you've seen, I still have this much left, so I've got a long way to go. And then I put these two together, and I slide on my paper clips. So I'll do about 3 of these smaller ones. Again, you can leave it out for dangles which is fun. Kind of evenly space them as best you can. Oddly space them could be even more fun. Maybe just put 2 dangles on this one, or just the one. I think I'll put one down here. And then what I like to do is I do use a piece of paper so that I remember which way this goes on, because I've made the mistake before where I've decorated it and closed it off. So I do recommend at the beginning to do something like this so that you can see that you can only pass the paper into this side. You can't put it in this side. So you don't want to decorate it reversed, which I have, again, I've done. So now I'm just going to glue the next strip on top. You can decorate, again, both sides of these, single side, completely up to you. Just going to hold that for a minute so it doesn't slide on me. You want to kind of press too around the paper clips. Maybe hide that a little bit. So you do need thinner paper clips for this one, shorter I should say, not thinner. Just because they will poke out. So if I were to use this big guy, these are obviously way too narrow. Unless you want that look. Maybe you want to dangle off this side. You know, sometimes playing like this really opens up the floodgates of creativity and leads you into something you hadn't thought of yet. I'm just going to glue this down. Straighten out anything crooked. And hold that for a second as well. Pushing it in. Make sure that it's adhered and that it's all straight. Squeeze that all together. Okay. So same process for me, how I decorate, because I like that look. I just take these long scraps. Book page scraps. We all have on our repertoire. And switch glues here. Use my flat glue. Slap that down. And slap that down. And then, what else have I got? Use brown here. So I like to kind of create these rough edges, so I don't hide this edge, I just create a new edge. And then it's easier to ink it first. Something like this. And then for this, I need to pull it off and cut off the excess. Because in this case, I want to keep it narrow, like the labels. I don't want to create a big wide edge. I want to just do a simple focal point on this. Okay, so that's one side. I'll let that dry a minute. It's a bit sticky. And then I will do the other side. Because it is going to show, you can decorate both sides. It will show on 2 different papers, of course. When it's slid on. We'll go back to this blue. So watching this, maybe you've come up with another way that you would use these. Thinking, ooh, I've got some of those. I could use it doing this. And that's what I love about sharing on this platform. So if you do end up doing something like this, please share and tag me in the Instagram so that I know what you've come up with, because I'd love to see it. It's cutting around the outside of that loop. Now you can make these rough looking, which I haven't tried yet, but maybe I'll do it right now. And use some sandpaper. Kind of beat them up a little more. Anything that isn't glued down will roll off, which looks kind of cool. Just roughs it up even more, which is nice. Something like that. Did not stick, so we'll just pull it off. Usually it leaves a little bit of behind, but clearly it wasn't dry enough yet. So maybe I'll throw that back down. Okay, I think that's good. So I am going to put it back on here, so I do remember. There is an indication now with the what's it called? The pin sticking out the far end. So I do know that that's where the dangles will go, but I still find it visually helps put things together. So now you can decorate it. Let's see, what do I want to do? I do like something lacy underneath. Have this scrap here. Maybe one of these guys. And then a focal point. So if I do something elaborate on the one side, I leave the other side pretty plain. This old lace here. I don't know if it's old, but it's pretty and it's useful because you can chop it up. Use all these different little bits. So you can see how your scraps accumulate pretty quick. So I like this side. I think I'm going to leave that one and then decorate this side. Something like this. So this is your page, obviously. And then we need a focal point. So I have a couple little things I pulled out really quick. So something like this. Some sketches that I did. That's kind of nice. Or something smaller. Okay, those two I like. That's too dark. You know, even your little watercolor samples. And then I have some pressed hydrangeas. Lady's face. The pressed hydrangea is nice, but I already did that in a demo, so let's switch it up a bit. Kind of like them all. Maybe I'll do the fern. Let's do that. It's kind of nice too. I like that too. All right, and now I got to find some blue paper because I want to frame it to tie the blue together. And I know I'm running low on blue paper because like I said, I don't have a lot. What have I got left? Got this here. And I have that. And I think that's all I got left. Let's see if this is big enough. It's big enough for this piece. It's not big enough for this piece. Ooh, maybe. We chopped it down. Kind of like this one. Let's try it. Let's try it. Ink it up a little. a little glue out, the messy glue. I got stuff stuck everywhere. I admire those YouTubers that are like super, super organized and clean. It's just not in my nature, I guess. I've tried tips and tricks, you know, when you're finished using your scissors, put them to this side, and it never happens. So I'm still searching for scissors every time. Can't fight your nature, you know? You can improve things, but you are who you are. And I, by nature, am a very messy crafter. And I've accepted it. That's kind of cute. I think I want to add a little bit of subtle texture, so I'm just going to use the stamp and some of that ink. Just softens it a little bit, right? Something like this. It's cute. Do I want to add anything else? And I just play until I get something I really like. With little bits and bobs. Use up your scraps, you know? It's kind of pretty. Maybe put something on top of the drawing. Tie it in a little bit more. I mean, you can go super overboard too. Nothing wrong with that. But I just layer, and I keep layering until I get something I'm pleased with. So far I like that. So let's start gluing before I forget where everything goes. Kind of be generous with this, because this piece will slide on and off. You want to make sure that it's well adhered. And then I think it was this guy. Then this. And then this maybe, I think. And then this guy. And let's do it. Nope, don't like that. This way. And then something up here. Let's just cut out another one of those little flowers. There. I like that. Let me get rid of a little bit of this. That's good. Did I want to add some blue? Let's try it. Maybe sneak a little under here. You can just keep going and going. I think that's good. Okay, so a little sketch as a focal point. The other side you can decorate as well, or you can leave plain. And then you've made some spots for an additional little dangle that you can add here. So you can tie on, you know, all these little bits. You can make a little cluster with these too, right? So there, that's how I'm using up all these goodies that I got from using a simple roll. And I paid 50 cents for this roll. So you can get your money's worth out for sure. And just have fun. Go to town, you know, and let your imagination come up with some really fun ideas and ways to use these. So buttons, little caps off pop bottles, anything you got. And I hope that inspires you. I hope it gives you some fun ideas. And have fun creating, everyone. Take care. Bye.